I'm here with Mike Colter and Sanford Greene. We're going to be talking about some of the Soda City classics that's going on this weekend. And guys, how does it feel to be from South Carolina and to be representing for South Carolina on such a national platform?
It's great. You know, it's something that I never foresaw in my future as a kid. Didn't think about this, but here I am here at Benedict College. It's fun because you come back and you realize, you know, nothing's changed in a sense. You know, if you feel like you're home, you feel like you know the people and you know the students, even though you really don't. It just feels so familiar to me. But yeah, so to say, this is a great opportunity. So I can't wait to basically meet the fans, give back to the fans, and sort of just you know, show the love. You know.
And this is Benedict College, and you know all about this as well, too. So talk a little bit about the love that you're seeing from Benedict students from here in Columbia as well.
Yeah, it's definitely a tremendous opportunity, I think, to have Mike here. He came here for a year and a half, yeah. And I graduated from here. And to be able to do what we're doing right now professionally, I think is pretty unprecedented to be able to be here and to come back. At this time, you know, and again, being together at Soda City and representing the same character, I think is kind of surreal and exciting at the same time.
Speaking of character, let's talk Luke Cage. This season, I think some people were a little concerned or confused about, is Luke Cage a villain? Is he a hero? Talk a little bit about what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's really no way to explain it. I mean, you talk about, you know, journey of character, trying to figure out exactly where the character's going, you know, the situation he's in, the circumstances. It makes sense. You know, he's trying to fight evil. And, you know, you think about the country right now, trying to fight evil, but doing it good, doing it with the good way, it's very difficult. You know, they have no moral compass. So how can you have a moral compass and still defeat them? And I think Luke is sort of in that space right now. He has these powers. Nobody can check him, or it seems like nobody can check him. He's, you know, invincible to a certain degree. And they say, you know, absolute power corrupts absolutely. So I think this is a step in the right direction to see where it goes. But hopefully, I think he'll at the end of the day, I think he'll still be a hero, but just might have a little more gray in him, you know.
I mean, what about season 3? Is there more going on with?
Season 3 hasn't even gotten picked up yet. We'll find out very soon, hopefully. And once that happens, then we can start talking about telling the story. I couldn't tell you if I knew anyway. You know, I couldn't. Don't even try. Don't even try.
Okay. Yeah. I didn't know we were gonna spoiler alert or anything. But when it comes to the comic, right. I mean, how is he developing in the comic as well?
Honestly, we're waiting for green light for another volume of that as well. So we're kind of all in the dark with this thing right now, trying to figure out where Luke is going to be headed next. But looking back into what I was involved with the last couple of years, being able to develop the character to make him more of a father figure. He has a child, married in the comics, and just his maturity level in that aspect of it was really something that we really wanted to focus on in the books. And I was fortunate enough to draw Iron Fist as well, and just to see the contrast between those two characters, where Iron Fist is a devil may care kind of attitude, and Luke is a lot more reserved now. As you know, you look back into the early inceptions of the two characters, it was reversed. So to be able to take those characters and mature them, if you will, or to evolve them is something that I was really interested in doing, and to see some of the characteristics play out in the actual Luke Cage series is something that's very gratifying for me.
Talk a bit about how it feels to be a person of color in the comic world, because for the longest time when I knew about comics, everybody looked the same. No one looked like me, really, except for Storm, you know? And so talk a little bit about that, how it feels to be able to bring a character to life, someone that looks like you.
Honestly, truth be told, when I was a kid, Power Man was the character that I identified with because you could see his face. Black Panther, he was awesome, but he had a mask on. And I didn't know he was black until, you know, a few years later. But I saw Power Man, I saw Luke Cage, and he's on the covers hanging out with Captain America, who's as, you know, Caucasian, you know, male, you know, archetype that is really a prominent role. But to see him with Captain America, to see him with Spider-Man, to see him punch the Hulk and actually landed a punch, you know, I was like, wait a minute. he looks like me, and he's as strong as these other characters. So it gave me that feeling of belonging. It felt like I can identify with this character, and it made me I guess, gravitate towards that character. So that, for me, is one of the things that really inspired me as a kid to see not only myself in that character, but to also want to create characters just like that, characters that look like me, characters that have my experiences and background. So it's kind of a full circle here.
Mike, what about you?
Well, wait a minute. What was it?
The question
Sorry,
of
what was the question?
a person being a person of color and representing in the comic book world and Marvel world.
Well, it's one of those things where when the opportunity came, I wasn't as aware of the lack of diversity in the comic books, because I told people a lot of times when I read comic books, I guess, for me, I didn't necessarily need the character to be the same color. Now that I've done this character, now I see what inclusion does for people. I see how it inspires young black men and females when they see a likeness of themselves on the screen, because sometimes they need that sort of identification where they feel like I can do that too. For me, I always tell people, Bruce Lee was Asian, a little small guy. I thought I was Bruce Lee. I thought I could do everything he did. That was my imagination. But being here now in the position I'm in, it's great because inspiring people to do things. I mean, a lot of times you talk to people, the inspiration leads to other things. It's not just about, I'm going to be an actor, I'm going to be anything. It's just confidence, building the confidence that now they go, I belong, I'm special, I can do things, and I'm represented. And it's not someone who, and it's not by a negative stereotype, because a lot of times you see negative stereotypes with black males and stuff in the media, which are there for a reason, and perpetuate that mythology that we're all violent and that we're all criminals. It's nice to sort of go back against that. We had to start there because that's where the comic book was written, and that's how it was originally started. But we want to take this character of Luke Cage and diversify him and make him the thoughtful character, the impactful emotional character, the person who is thinking about the big picture and also thinking about family, thinking about community, these kinds of things. So I'm proud of that.
Speaking of family and community, talk about this is Soda City Comic-Con.
Yeah, yeah.
So Columbia is bringing it back home.
Yeah.
So talk about how it feels to be able to come back to Columbia again.
I come here at least once a year, and every year I come here, I feel like it's grown a little bit. I feel like they've added another building, they've knocked something down, changed something, looks a little different. It's just like, I don't know, it's a wonderful feeling coming back home. Every time I come here, I always say probably the best 4 years of my life were spent in college, Benedict and University of South Carolina. Being in college is great. I mean, you have not a care in the world. I mean, sure, yeah, you're gonna have some debt when you're finished, but you don't think about that when you're in college. You just want to have fun. Think about it now. You think about it now. But yeah, that's what it is. You're surrounded by people who are like-minded, who want to do the same things. They have aspirations. They're motivated. They're young, and all that energy. And it's a time in your life where you have to you just have to pay attention to it, because when it's gone, you look back on it with longing eyes, going, I wish I could go back. Even when I was walking around campus today, I'm thinking, man, I could do this again. I don't want to go to class again, but I would like to do this whole college thing again.